yearly meeting, and at that yearly meeting, every student receives a program of studies.
That program of studies gets board approved.
It was board approved. It was board approved it's board approved every year, and it will be coming to the board for the March meeting.
Okay. And is there a pathway to meet the state requirements so they can move on with their career, whether it be work, academic, or military? If they meet the Pennsylvania state education requirements as one of the pathways, the ability to,
I think what you're at, you mean the minimum state requirements.
if they meet the minimum state requirements,
We're
so
talking
they
the
can,
minimum state of 21.
I'm talking the minimum state requirements.
Each pathway is at 24 credits.
Why didn't we create a pathway that allows a person that is ambitious to move on to their college career, move on to their work-related career, or into the military, without having to go through additional high school-based
I think
things?
we've had this discussion on several occasions.
You know, why, if we're creating new pathways, if we're going to take away half the phys ed classes that people have to take, and we're going to meet the state requirements, why not allow a student that is ambitious to meet the state requirements, get on a pathway where they can move to college, get into the military, or take a career-minded path?
I don't see, and you always have to agree to disagree, Mr. Bradley, I don't see the benefit of lowering it to 21 credits.
Not lowering, I'm asking about the opportunity to cover a pathway.
If the school requires 26 credits, you can't let someone just have 21. I mean, if our graduation requirements are 26 credits, then it doesn't matter what the pathway is, they need 26 credits, right? I mean, that's,
But the board decides which pathways they have, the board decides which credits are needed, and the board just chose to cut phys ed in half. They chose to add an arts and humanities, because we chose. We talked to our team, we talked to our committees, we presented it to a board who now has to make the decision to agree or not agree with that process. So the pathway of getting to the military, getting into college, or having full-time employment is a valuable pathway. Why is that not one of those pathways?
I don't know that just because there's still criteria to get into, areas. I don't know that getting into the military, like whatever branch you're talking, I'm not sure what you say military, that's a broad term.
There's several branches.
Of how to get into, but just because you want to get into the military doesn't mean you get accepted into the military.
if we have 26 credits for graduation, we have 26 credits for graduation. Their pathway is get your 26 credits, and then you can go into military, you can go to college, or you can go to work. I mean, that's a school-wide, a district-wide criteria is 26 credits.
Why is it 26 credits?
Because we prefer to challenge these kids. I prefer to challenge these kids.
And you're going to
And
challenge
I
them?
would vote for 26 or more, really.
Okay, and if you're going to challenge the child to do more credits, which I have no problem with challenging a student, the question becomes, what are you challenging them with? A high school credit for arts and humanities?
Well, they can have a choice as well to do dual enrollment credits if they would like.
Correct, but they can also leave this institution meeting the state requirements and move on to Harvard or any other school. Princeton, if you qualify under the Princeton standard, they will find the money for you, they say. So if you can meet that standard, why not jump at it? And if you're going to enter the military, have a career, a job.
To some still, again, they have that ability to apply for early graduation if they feel that they're in the need to do that.
Right,
Our board
exactly.
has blocked that pathway.
Nobody's blocking it.
You are, you've blocked the pathway for an ambitious student to move forward with their career outside of high school by adding on more high school-based credits.
That's my opinion. Put it on your YouTube, wherever you want to put it, but I'm going with 26
I
credits.
understand it's your opinion, but it's the board's decision
Okay, and that, I'm a board member, that's my decision. The rest of you can decide what
Well,
you
let's
want.
look at, have we looked at page 2 of this document, which is guidelines for completing graduation requirements early?
Uh-huh.
But you have to still meet those requirements. It's just getting them early. If you can package your schedule.
Which is,
And
you know,
ambitious
they have the
student.
opportunity to get 24 in their first 3 years of secondary education. So
Can you get
really, you can get those 2 more with summer courses, which are outlined within either correspondence courses or college courses that are outlined in the
Are
document
any of those
to be able
courses
to
LAVA?
get those circumstances to be able to graduate early.
She mentioned LAVA courses.
Students with disabilities, so some of them will, for example, if they are in the pathway to maybe graduate earlier and they need only a half a credit, they will be eligible to do LAVA credits for that senior semester, yes. So we have some students currently who are doing a combination of LAVA, a combination of dual enrollment, a combination of high school credits. It's very, there's a hybrid of ways to achieve that, yes.
Okay.
But to
So I
allow
know
it,
you had mentioned LAVA, so I didn't know what LAVA would apply to with this particular thing.
We have, again, as we have, we've crossed out unusual circumstances, we have many students with life circumstances, and in order to meet their needs, it has to be a varied approach. You know, the ultimate goal is to graduate our students, make them successful, and be able to be marketable, whether it's a job force, whether it's the military, whether it's college, career readiness, you name it. We know that, you know, there's multiple options for our students out there.
well, there's a tremendous advantage to a student to be on the path, to meet the state requirements, and focus on those state requirements, and then move on with a very high GPA, which allows them to be higher in their class ranking, and then on to their secondary education. So Rio, when you said you decided, or you made your choice as one of the 9 board members, under what basis did you make that decision?
Because I feel the more credits, the better. I can't say anything other than that.
So then why do we reduce them from 26 to 20?
To make the curriculum
You reduce them
more
28 to 26.
flexible for the
20,
students to
20.
get them.
Many of the students watch and graduate with more credits.
Currently, most of our students graduate with 32, and many of our overachieving students want to be able to take those AP options and those courses that are going to, again, you're talking, they're going the college track, or you mentioned Harvard or Princeton, they need the AP courses. Those schools want to see that our kids have been exposed to the most rigorous type of educational opportunity we can provide them here in school setting. In order to get those AP courses, they will need to be in the building junior and senior year because of the design of it, the prerequisites of
But
it.
you're still requiring them to take these extra electives and arts, which don't fit that aggressive standard. They can't take the extra double up on science, or double up on math, or double up on these opportunities.
Yeah, they can double.
And stop
We have students
the,
doubling up right now.
but that's again at a high school level.
Mhm.
Why not take a college course for that opportunity?
They have the
Why not
option.
allow them to do that? By removing the credit requirement from the high school and giving it as a college school. There's an advantage to a student to meet the state requirements, to get his high school or her high school diploma early enough that they should be able to actually meet these standards practically at the end of their sophomore year. Right now, mathematically, you have excluded that opportunity.
That's your, again, that's
That's
your.
your-
Not my opinion, it's a mathematical,
It's your opinion.
well, no, this is not a function of opinion.
Yes, it
Rita.
is. It's always a function of
So
opinion.
is there a
You did.
pathway, is there any pathway that allows a student to meet all the requirements by the end of their sophomore year?
No, no.
No,
Okay, so it's not my opinion, it's a fact.
okay, but
So you
that's not
restrict
what we're here
And
for.
I don't know if find me a school in Pennsylvania that allows students to meet those requirements by the end of their sophomore year.
I want to be revolutionary in the fact that we were
Oh,
the
well,
first.
that's good.
Well,
That's
well,
good.
I will tell you
You're not
that
kidding.
we're slightly revolutionary because we are one of only 2 schools in the local area that offer a college scholar program, which do allow our students
Which is nice.
at the end of their sophomore year to become full-time Lehigh Private Community students, full-time.
Correct,
So-
I respect that, and that's the whole idea, is that you've taken it to a level, and the fact that we stood short of that level by a couple credits, when we can just meet the requirement and allow an ambitious student to progress. I don't know why you would
Now, you're just
stop.
gonna have to agree to disagree with this thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's agree with the fact, though. The fact is, you have made it statistically impossible.
Get to graduate after sophomore year, yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
And I will
And
continue
yet-
to go for that.
Yes.
I don't feel children should graduate after their sophomore year. I'm sorry.
You're going to restrict them.
Yes, yes, I will.
Under your authority,
They're children,
as an elected board member, you're making a decision for them.
they're juveniles, yes, sir.
What did the stakeholders say to you at that point? Did you ask them? Did you ask any of them? Read it.
Anything?
Oh, Mr. Cleaver, I asked.
Number
Is that a no comment? Just say no comment.
What do you mean, did I
Did you
ask
ask
the
them?
stakeholders?
You said it's your opinion,
Yeah,
your decision.
yeah, it is.
Did you ask
This-
anyone else?
You mean the stakeholders that elected me, are they the ones you're talking about?
Yeah, did you ask them?
No, I did not. They elected me to make my decisions, and that's my decision. And the people that did know me and know what my decisions will be.
Oh, they do? Okay,
Yes, they
great.
do.
Okay, all right,
So my
just
point is.
jumping back up to.
Moving on.
So the question is, your opinion was such.
The recommendation is these two individuals on the committee wish to present the policy as presented.
As is.
So
Yes.
I didn't get to hear Larry. Did you ask anyone?
I pretty much have the same stance that Ms. Smelly does.
Okay,
I've been elected to make these decisions.
Okay, you were elected to make the decision.
Right.
Thank you.
You don't
And
require.
I don't believe that any child that's a sophomore, other than a very special circumstance, has the mental capability and the maturity to graduate from high school and further their educational or military career. Plus, I believe there are issues with enrolling in the military with under 18 years old, I believe.
You
Yeah.
need to be 18.
So I think that
We should
kind
have
of
asked
includes
that.
that pathway of graduating at 21 as you're a junior and being 18 unless there's a special circumstance involved with the age of the child.
But there's also a tremendous financial opportunity for a student to meet the requirements in their sophomore year.
And they're,
Let me finish. Move into college, go to college until they turn 18. Practically, like you said, graduate at 18 years old with an associate's degree. Now they enter the military as an officer, which
They
is
have
a financial.
They have that opportunity, exactly what you're saying.
I agree.
the dual enrollment at
So what do
L-Tri-C
you
gives them
argue?
that exact
That
opportunity.
exact scenario, our students have the possibility to.
At the community college, which is a very economical choice to make. to-
Correct. So
to-
now,
to
I'm
complete
opening up
pathway.
that, I'm opening up that opportunity to an entire district, not just the ones you choose
We don't-
that are.
There
No.
there is criteria for
But
there
the
is
same-
enrollment criteria.
Correct.
For the community college, for
Correct.
these students. So not all our students would meet that enrollment
We
criteria.
end up blocking it, right, so.
No, we don't, no, we don't end up blocking it, David. There are requirements by the post-secondary education educational
They have a-
institutions that you have to meet. You just can't go and walk into a college and say, hey, I'm going to take your course.
Gives a
But
test
They
and
can
they
be
have to pass it.
But
Yeah,
there's
but
also-
They have to
also-
achieve a certain level of proficiency on their assessment to
Yeah,
enroll.
they also have requirements from the kids here for, too. It's not just a test, they have to meet requirements here, as well as like
Right.
proficiency in their standardized tests and those things.
No,
That's
and
exactly
it
the
keeps
logic
and
of
all
the-
that, yes.
Hold on. That's the exact logic of the blocking. In the event that this person meets the requirements that this board allows, the board sets it. Anything above the state minimum, the state requirement, the board sets it. If the board sets an opportunity, a pathway, for these students to meet that requirement with that certificate, their diploma, they meet the requirements and can enter post-secondary education. There's nothing that stops them from doing that. The advantage to this program with dual enrollment is they're going to allow that dual enrollment because they didn't get their diploma yet. But if they have their diploma, they are open. The freedom is there to go do whatever that they and their parents choose for them, and our restriction to that blocks the prop path. If we allow that path to be open and someone decides to choose to use it, whoever it is, there'd be an advantage to that parent, there'd be an advantage to that student. And getting their high school diploma expediently opens up the opportunity. If you do the math, it is tremendously valuable to a community to allow individuals to either A, enter under an officer program, it's millions of dollars over their career, enter college 2 years early, tremendously valuable, especially if they're going to commute for the first 2 years, they don't have to pay room and board. Plus, they have an opportunity, if they have a work environment, that they can do their studies, and if they have an opportunity to generate revenue, they can help the parents, they can help the
You're
grandparents.
talking about
They
a
can't
sophomore commuting to L-Tri-C when a sophomore can't even drive by themselves until they're 16 and a half or 17 years old.
Correct. It's
So your point does not compute, Mr. Bradley.
Why do you say that?
Because a person can't get their license to commute themselves to an institution until they're 16 and a half, or put in the requirements from a driving perspective, and there's not many sophomores that are that age.
Correct. So you're saying that since they can't drive, you're gonna keep the requirement higher?
All right.
It doesn't make sense.
It's just gonna be, I'm citing examples, the same examples that you're citing as exceptions, I'm citing them as exceptions.
Right.
That's all, we're gonna have to.
Having never attended community college or college at any level, suppose you do graduate at 16. You still have to take an exam at the community college and meet a certain criteria. Is that correct?
Only your SATs, yeah, you can take.
No,
You take your
No,
exam.
no, there's not
No,
an institution that doesn't have a placement test when you go for orientation.
And actually, LCIC was just recently on our own campus
Yes,
offering
they
a placement
will.
test for
Placement
incoming
test.
students, and they have to take that placement test to enroll in LCIC for the fall.
If
So-
they're not a graduate of a high school.
No.
I mean, my daughter did all this,
No.
but I wasn't
There's many
involved, so.
groups will have a placement test.
Some,
So they come
some
in,
don't.
they will call it, they may have remedial classes, which they used to
Right.
call O90s, which means you have to take it, however, it doesn't count for graduation because you didn't meet the minimum requirements
They
to
can
come
beef
in.
up their math skills,
So,
their language skills or something.
Math, English are usually the two that you have to take. You usually have a writing prompt and then math. And then based upon how you score on that, you may have to take like a remedial math or a remedial writing class. And you're paying for them. Unfortunately, you're not.
But they're
getting
not going towards
Unfortunately,
your credits to
But
graduate.
you get a tremendous advantage to a community student, and we should have that pathway open, not as an option, not as a special occasion, but to all our students. Because if we give them that opportunity, some might take it. Why won't you?
You know, there's an exception to every policy, Mr. Bradley.
Why?
right? Well, no, there is.
Why is there?
The board can make an exception to any policy that exists within the documentation. So
Wait,
if
say
a
that
parent,
again.
if a parent is so enthused of the gifted ability of their
Child has
child,
a gifted IEP.
they
They don't
could
have a
petition the
gifted
board,
No, we
they
just use that
could,
as an example.
they could petition the board for early graduation. And based upon that person's track record and what they've done in their testing and their schoolwork, it could be granted a diploma, just
Only
like
if you
that.
give them a pathway to get there by the time they're a sophomore. If you
Okay,
don't, if you restrict them, mathematically restrict them,
thank you.
you're blocking them.
I appreciate your input
So
on that.
one more question.
Okay.
With this reduction in credits and reduction in educational services that was recommended, how much financial savings will occur within the district, if any?
We are still required to offer the courses. What it may do is some of the courses, it may drop down class sizes, but we have some, again, at high school, because there could be 30 kids in grades 9 through 12 in that course. Well, if 2 kids don't need to take that credit, then you're still going from 30 to 28, which means, so there's really no way to put a dollar sign to any type.
Is there any cost savings associated with the reduction of credits?
At this point, in the way the proposal is and the classes and the courses we offer now.
So you're taking things away without saving.
We're not taking anything away.
You reduce the number of credits.
Right, but the number of electives are still there. No child is going to be allowed to sit in a study hall.
So none of those courses are gonna be eliminated, is what you're saying, they're all
It's just
gonna
the
be
flexibility
offered.
of how you can take them over the course of your 4
All
years
eight classes are still
within
correct.
within the secondary education.
They're all still there,
Yes,
it's just you may not have to take.
and there might be ones that still have the ability and they
Actually,
want to
for the
take,
general science
PE
class
for-
back next year, we're
and
adding.
they might want to take PE for more courses than they have. You know, you're taking them as electives because you want to have fun, right? You want to have gym,
Lots of
right?
In that,
The nutrition body shaping class right now this year, I think has 24 students in it. And kids are taking that, and that's, again, it's a pretty tough course in the sense they do a lot of with food, nutrition, wellness for life, running, and these kids are loving it. It's a lot different than saying. It's
That's
very
good,
good.
because
you know?
nutrition
Some kids
is
love to
something
take
that a lot of
band
people need to learn.
course, it's very elective, so it gives them the options and abilities. Some kids love, I mean, our kids love wood shop, metal shop, internet, art, and technology. We have pottery making, kids, there's something for everyone to choose from, which is a great opportunity as well. College Scholar program is there for those who want to choose that.
Thank you. I want to go back, which I believe we did,
904.